I was thinking about some problems that the world has, because the main idea is to solve the problems of the world. But still he was not able to hear the sound of the car, and the car hit him and he died on the spot. Already I thought that in my book there is a language called Python, so if I master this Python language, I can easily program it. And then I was able to show this to my teacher, who accepted the project. I reached to 15 seconds. I solved a Rubik's Cube in 15 seconds. My name is Shafi, and I am from Doon International School, Srinagar. I study in class 8th and I live in Srinagar, Rangret. And today I am here to talk about my project, which is for deaf people, and it is used to translate our voice into, it converts the voice into text so that the deaf people can read it, and this will significantly change the life of the deaf people and make it much better for them. When I heard about this association, about the Inspire project, so I was thinking about some problems that the world has, because the main idea is to solve the problems of the world. So I was thinking about where can I find these problems, what are the resources. Then I thought about the news, so I started searching about the old news, where I found that an accident with a deaf person. So it happened when a deaf person was crossing a road. So obviously he's deaf, so he cannot hear sound, although he was wearing a hearing aid which just increases the pitch of the sound so that the deaf person can hear it. But still he was not able to hear the sound of the car, and the car hit him and he died on the spot. So I thought about that it's a very big problem, because there are a lot of places where communication is very important and very necessary. Now there are many ways which we can communicate with the deaf person, like we can write on the paper then send it to him, or we can just speak a little louder because he has a hearing aid. Obviously all deaf people have that. But in some situations the sound has to be emitted fast, just like the case that I gave before. So I thought about that the most efficient way is to write on a paper. So what if we made a machine which will automatically write on a paper? This was my first idea. And then I thought about it will be easy if it is going to print it on an LCD display, which is going to fit on his glasses so that he can easily read it. So in the beginning I thought about making a simple project for which can write on the paper by itself. And I thought about discussing it with my teachers. They told me that there was a teacher in our school which was obsessed with this Arduino thing, so he can easily program everything. I got to them and they said it's kind of difficult to make something that can write on a paper, and then how are we going to fit it in his glasses, because it is way too big. There are machines that can print by using a pen or a pencil, but how are we going to fit it in our glasses? So he told me to make a device that could fit it easily, that could be fitted easily in his glass, and the best way to do that is to make a device that will print itself using an LCD screen. So I thought about that and did a little bit of research. So he told me to use the components, like he told me to use an Arduino, an LCD screen, and then Bluetooth device which will connect to my mobile phone. So the main problem that I faced was that here the text has to be converted into speech, and again the speech is to be converted into text. That was the main problem. So but the problem is there are millions of words that could be converted, right? So how are we going to store all of this data in one small device, because the storage that we get in the Arduino is very little, because these are millions and billions of words in English, and also we have to make it translate, right? So the main way to think about this is by using internet. So there are pre-built databases in internet which store this information. For example, Google database, we know it translates, like when we have to say search something on the Google, we just click a button, we say it, and it just gets converted, but it uses internet. So what happens is that when we say something, the voice goes to the database through the internet. There it is going to be converted into the text. Then the text is going to be converted back into speech for Google to understand this, right? So that was the main idea. But how are we going to connect this Arduino to internet? So I thought about, why don't we use the pre-built internet in my phone? So all am I going to do is I'm going to make an app. It is going to translate everything, every of my voice into text, and that text is going to be sent through the Bluetooth to my Arduino, where it is going to be printed on a small screen. So I thought of it and asked my teacher how to make it. So he gave me a basic structure and told me to combine all of this, then he will program it by himself. So I was kind of obsessed with these things because I always wanted to get some experience and exposure. I always wanted to learn new skills, and I thought that this is a good way to learn a new skill like programming. Already I thought that in my book there is a language called Python. So if I master this Python language, I can easily program it. It took me some time to do it on my own, but in the end I was able to make it. I used a lot of internet and research a lot. I was able to make it, and also with this I also got a very good experience of coding, and I also got to interact with my teachers with how to use internet for coding and programming, and how I can use different apps, how I can make apps. And then I was able to show this to my teacher, who accepted the project. It was starting of the school after my 5th grade. I was in 6th grade now, so the school was starting, and there was our sports event over there. So I was called upon to a room in our school. I was kind of curious, what are we going to do there? Few students were called upon over there, and they were told about the Inspire association. We were told about that. First of all, I thought about not joining it because I knew that my project was not going to be selected. But I think the main reason why they selected me is that I already made a lot of projects, and I kind of liked making projects because I was a little creative. So I thought that even if my project is not going to be selected, I will still get an experience that how other people are making their projects, how other people think about their projects, and I will also get a little other project to be made, so which I liked the most at that time. So I thought about what should I do at that time, what kind of project should I make, and just like that I searched upon the news and then found this project and started working on it. So I think it's very important for a student to be creative, because we know that as a kid grows up, the creativity decreases. When the kid is little, the mind is very, very creative at that time, because when it grows up, there are a lot of things to worry about, and the creativity slowly fades away. So the Inspire Award, this association is very important. I think this was a brilliant idea by the government, because when we think about it directly, so we think about kids are very creative, they can give us a lot of ideas. If we use these ideas to create certain products, that will grow our economy, and we can also send it to other places, and these things, they could be sold both inside India and outside India, which will help a lot of people. So that's why I think creativity is very important. Every student has a particular interest in some subjects. Like for example, me personally, I have my interest in mathematics. The only reason I have my interest in mathematics is that before some time my mathematics was very weak, and I like to take challenges, and the biggest challenge for our generation is mathematics, because it is one of the most dangerous subject, because people are literally depressed when they see the exams of mathematics, and I knew I'm going to face a lot of problems when I proceed in the mathematics. So I started studying it, and my father helped me a lot. So I think it's a very, very lucky thing to have a father like this, and that's why I love maths, because my father has taught me from the beginning. And when I was very little, I had no concept of mathematics. At that time, my father was the only one who supported me. All I learned was from my father, and now that I have got a strong base, now I understand everything that my teachers say, and I'm proceeding to a different whole other concept of mathematics. I think my innovation is very beneficial for the world, because I already told you a case of where the deaf person died in the road, but not only that, but if we see, in the end, humans are social animals, and communication is very important for being social. A normal person has a lot of problems when he is deaf, and if we see, there were a lot of experiments conducted mainly by Russia. So they used to conduct these experiments during Cold Wars, because they were mainly competing with America. So in these experiments, they made few people deaf. They used to do that at that time for psychological studies. They saw the problems that each deaf person faces in his life. In the results, they found out that deaf person face a lot of problems more than blind people. The main source of communication for us is speaking, but they cannot hear that. That's why they face a lot of problem, and that's why I think my project is going to help them in a lot of ways. So I have a lot of hobbies, mainly with astrophysics because I like to search about space, and I also have hobbies like in sports, like I like to play football, and I also have a hobby to like learn new things. Like I learned to solve a Rubik's cube recently. I've reached to 15 seconds. I solve a Rubik's cube in 15 seconds. Although I haven't solved it from quite a while, but I know I can solve it right now. But it might take a little time. I think for those people who are living in like rural areas and those who are poor, there's no fault of them. The only thing that can solve their problems is are their teachers and their principal, the school authority, because the main purpose of these associations is to extract the informations and extract the creativity from these guys, and they cannot make these associations by themselves. And now government is focusing on these associations, but what are they going to do in the end if nobody is caring about them? So I think the principals of the schools and the teachers should mainly focus on these things. They should bring these experiences to all the students, no matter from where they are, even if they are poor. Because I have seen where I was in the Inspire Association, I see most of the projects were from the government schools and were from the rural areas, and I was very surprised from how good these projects are. And I think all credits goes to their teachers, and same is with me, because all this also I give a lot of credits to my teachers who bring this experience to me and give me a chance to do this. My favorite scientist is Nikola Tesla, because he was very innovative and his projects were so surprising that not even our today's world can generate those projects and the electricity projects that he made today. If he wasn't there, then wireless electricity would be no concepts and everything. That's why I think Nikola Tesla was the most intelligent and the best scientist and the most innovative scientist also.